Hello, people. How are you doing? I genuinely hope that you're doing good. And if you're not doing good, I strongly believe that you're going to be okay. You're going to be alright. Don't worry. It's gonna pass. The season will pass. Okay, so this video is inspired by another video that I watched on YouTube from one of my personal favorites, Izzy Nizara. And this was not the main focus of the video. Like the video she was making, it had nothing per se to do with this, but it was something that she said in passing that struck me. So the original video was talking about her attending her best friend's wedding, and in the midst of that she had to go to the airport. She had an early morning flight and all of that, and her husband was taking her to the airport, but along the way they had a flat tire. They had a flat tire, and that's not a good situation to be in if you're on your way to catch like a morning flight and all of that. But she said something. Now she was like, if you know the third mainland bridge in Lagos, you know that it's a long bridge, and if the car had they had developed the flat tire while on the bridge, it would have been hard for them to get help. But just almost immediately, I believe, they had gotten down from the bridge. That was when they got the flat tire, and they were at a place where they could easily get help from the people around. And then she made a statement. She said, in that I saw the mercies of God. And I went, okay. In that moment, I knew I was an ungrateful person. If somebody else had shot that video, it would have gone something like, oh my God, it was such a chaotic trip. On the way to the airport, we got a flat tire, and I was just wondering, God, am I the only one on this earth? Why does everything bad have to happen to me? Like, those will be the kind of things that you will hear in connection with that kind of scenario. And it really got me thinking. Now, for me, the year typically ends on the 30th of November, because I was born on the 1st of December. So I just round up my own year, and I'm like, okay, new year, new year, 1st of December, and we move. And over the past 1 week, 1 month actually, I have been processing my year in my head, and I realized that this thing that she pointed out with that statement, or that I saw from that statement, is what has made me not enjoy my year the way I usually would. Now, one thing I noticed from that statement is it's so easy for us to focus on everything that is going wrong, and because we're so focused on what is not happening, we don't see all the good things on the other side that is happening. We don't see the little miracles, the million little miracles that God has done for us, and all of those things. Now, last year I was on the other side of the divide. There was a tragic situation. I call it tragic, but my dad smoothly transitioned to the other side, and for some reason, yes, there was grief, but the grief was more of thanksgiving, looking on the good side of things, and all of that. And it was actually very smooth. Like, everything went so well and all of that, until now. When I think about him, I don't think, oh my God, God, why did you let this happen to me? I'm more like, okay, Father, I know you have a plan, and just things like that. But this year, what was the issue, safe? The plans that I had did not go the way I had them in mind, or they didn't even come to pass at all. Opportunities came and opportunities went. They didn't necessarily work out the way I expected. These were the issues. There was no life lost. There was food to eat. There was a place to live, and all of that. And there are some things that I didn't even have last year that God provided for me this year. There was a lot more self-awareness. There was growth, and there was an increase of love in my heart, and all of that. But I couldn't see all these things because I was so focused on everything that wasn't going the way I planned than focusing on everything that was going the way God would have it go. And as I just sat down to think about it, I'm just like, babe, you've been ungrateful. You've been very, very ungrateful. This year I lost my hard girl title. I cried at almost everything, and I couldn't see the pockets of joy that God was bringing my way. There was one day, say that I was talking to somebody on the phone, and then I was crying, and the person was able to hear me. I don't cry in front of people ever. And the person was like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "Hey, God, look at my life. What's going on?" And all of that. And in hindsight, I am just looking at how God had made me scale through so many things that could have gone really bad, but I wasn't thankful to Him for it. So, I'm making this video basically to honor God, to thank God for the gift of the Holy Spirit. I really don't know how I would live life without Jesus, because there are things that happen to people that will literally kill them, but somehow with Jesus in our lives, instead of, getting depressed, we have the ability to rejoice in the midst of it all, and then the assurance that at the end of the day, as long as God is in the picture, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be joyful, we are going to be victorious. That's the promise that we have from God, and we know that His word never fails. Somehow those knowing who God is, knowing that He is capable of everything that He said, has just led me through this whole situation. And I'm just here to say thank you to Jesus. And I'm here to encourage somebody that is focusing on everything that is going wrong and finding it hard to see everything that is going right. You are missing out. You're depriving yourself of so much joy. You're leading yourself into unnecessary depression. Yes, dear. Why don't you hold on to His promises? Why don't you focus on all the good that is happening and just take your mind off all the bad things? So, you didn't go to all the best restaurants, but there was food to eat. You didn't travel around the world, but for every time that you went somewhere, you went there safely, you got there safely. You didn't have all the money in the world, but hey, at least I do okay. I mean, you have data to watch this video. A million a million a million people are not calling your name and singing your praises, but there's somebody somewhere that is thankful that you are alive. Do you understand? There are people that love you. There's so many reasons to be grateful. There's so many reasons to thank God. And yes, for me, I'm grateful that there is you watching this video. There is you who can relate to this story. There is you who is going to focus on the good and not the bad from now onwards. And most importantly, I'm grateful for Jesus. I'm grateful for God's love. I'm grateful for His peace and all that good stuff. So that's what I want to share with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment. I don't know if you're going to watch this on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever it is that you're watching. I love you, and yeah, I'm feeling awkward at this point, so bye guys.